Good morning, everyone. This is Leah Dixon in Port Coquitlam, British Columbia. I am live today with my regular weekly card class to go. So every Wednesday morning I go live and I show you guys 3 different cards, and then you guys have an opportunity to make a purchase. A $60 purchase gets you a package, like a cardstock package that has everything you need to make 2 of each of the designs that I'm going to show today. With a $70 order, I also include the embellishment that I'm using on my cards. So this week, that's the Neutrals adhesive back sequins. And this week I'm featuring the Joy to You stamp set. So I'm going to switch over to my desktop and we will get started. Why won't it let me do that? There we go. Awesome. So this is the Joy to You stamp set. It is simply sentiments. And so I didn't actually pair it up with any images or anything like that. I've just put it together with some of the best designer series paper we're offering right now. This is actually an online exclusive designer series paper, so you won't find it in any of our catalogs. And it's called Shining Christmas. And it gets that name because this paper literally shines on one side. So we have the cutest little glossy candy canes and hearts. Some really fun, the red is metallic on here, argyle. So just really shiny like that. On this one, again, the red is shiny, but the whole page is glossy with our holly berries. See if I can get some shine on there on the red berries. So yeah, super duper cute. A glossy sheet here, again, with the red having that shimmer to it with the Christmas trees and the red dots in the background. Our little gifts. And then I think my favorite one, which is the stripes, the candy cane stripes. And then the back side of these are all done in cherry cobbler and white. And they are just really, really fun patterns. So really fantastic designer series paper. And so I've paired that up with our simple sentiments stamp set here. Oh, I don't know why that's all blurry, or maybe it's just my eyesight. Weird. Okay, let's put that down so it doesn't fly away on us. So yeah, that's what we're going to be using today. And then I've used a few embossing folders and dies and stuff. And any of that comes in your kit, the pieces that need to be die cut are already die cut for you. The pieces that need to be embossed are already embossed. So let's move this out of the way and get started. Our first card is actually one that people who are part of my in-person Coffee and Cards Club will know, because this was a card we actually created together in person, and just such a fun one. So I've got the Christmas Tidings embossing folder there in the background, and then just, yeah, really nice little layout here. So we'll start putting our stuff together. So in your kit, you'll get enough to make 2 of these. My kit just has enough to make 1. And you get all of your tag pieces, die cut, and everything. So we're really just assembling a card and doing a little bit of sentiment stamping this month, or this week. All right, so I'm going to put my tag off to the side and start gluing some layers together. So I'm going to get my liquid glue. And here, before I cover this up, because a lot of it does get covered up with our paper strip and our tag, this is the Christmas Tidings embossing folder from our mini catalog. And it is so much fun. I almost hate putting things over top of it because it's so cute. So yeah, that's it. So I see there's a bunch of you who have joined. If you want to say hi in the comments, I'd love to see who's here watching and possibly even stamping along with me. If you do choose to place an order to get this kit, you will have access to this video, and I do put a link to the YouTube version on the PDF, so you can easily find it again when you go to create your cards. All right. And if you're not in Canada, I actually can't send you a kit, but I do post these. I'll post this one later this afternoon. I do post my tutorials just as is for sale on my site. So you can always go check that out if you don't live in Canada. All right, so I used liquid glue to put that base on, but I'm going to use Seal Plus to attach this DSP, only because I have a little bit of a phobia of using liquid glue around anything shiny or metallic, because if I get glue on it, it will take away that shininess. And so I don't want to risk a little blob of glue getting on here and wrecking it. And so I'm using Seal Plus to attach that. And then I will use glue to attach this to my card front. Once I have that little border of cardstock, then I'm not worried about it. Doesn't happen often, but it's happened often enough that maybe my finger just has some glue on it and then I wreck the finish. So I don't want to do that. All right. So there we go. That is glued down. And then I have a piece of basic white here that we're going to put to the inside of our card, because it's always nice to have that finished look on the inside for writing your message. Okay. So we'll pop that in here. There we go. Now, I know some people do like to decorate the insides, and so if you wanted to, this won't be part of your kit, but if you had this paper at home, you could put a little strip of it on the inside there as well and decorate the inside. So that is the beginnings. Now we need to get our sentiment stamped on here. So I have a piece of cherry cobbler cardstock that's been cut using the largest tag from our tailored tags set. So these are fantastic, multiple sizes, 2 different pattern tops, and then 2 different types of eyelets. And I love that that's a singular die. So if you're making multiple tags, you don't have to cut out each eyelet one by one. You can cut out a few at a time and have them ready to go. Really handy. So this is a darker color. My white is going to show up if I get it where I don't want it. So from my Embossing Additions toolkit, I'm grabbing my embossing buddy, and I'm just going to, oops, some dust there. Yikes. So I've just gone over that just to get rid of any oil or anything that might be there that my embossing powder might want to stick to. Then I am going to grab my sentiment Peace and Joy to You and Yours and my Versamark ink. I'm going to ink that up and stamp that as centered as I can on this tag. There we go. So now with that stamped there, I am going to grab my Powder Pal tray that already has my white embossing powder in it. And I'm just going to dip my, oh, I'm running out of white. Yikes. All right, I'm just going to dip my tag through there and get it nicely covered with some white embossing powder. I've been doing a lot of embossing lately, and so I've been flying through this and my gold. All right, so there we have a really nicely covered sentiment with our white embossing powder. That comes in our basics powders, so you get white, black, clear. Oh, maybe it's just white, black, and clear. Maybe it's just 3. So really nice set of colors. All right, now we're going to grab our heat tool and we're going to melt this. we go, all done. So I absolutely love how bold this sentiment is. Oh, hi, Kim. Oh, that's too bad that you had problems with your computer. I hate that. So this is just such a nice, bold sentiment. All of them are so beautiful and look absolutely fantastic when you emboss them like that. So now we're going to take, you should have a tiny little piece in your kit, a little garden green eyelet. And we want just the tiniest amount of glue on this. Like we're talking, I'm going to actually use my little fine tip, which I almost never use. And we're going to put just the itty bittiest drops of glue there. So just like almost nothing. And then we're going to line up the flat edge of that eyelet with the flat edge of our tag. And you just want to make sure that that hole is lined up with the hole on the eyelet. So now we have, I don't know why, that just makes such a difference on this tag and just really finishes it off. I love having those little eyelets in that different color. So it's fantastic. So we're going to now tie a bow onto this with some baker's twine. So our baker's twine essentials pack comes with a whole bunch of colors in one bag. And I am grabbing white for this one. So now when I use my baker's twine, I actually tend not to take it off of the roll until I'm done what I'm doing. So I'm going to feed that through. I'm going to make 2 little bunny ears. I'm not even tying a knot. Just making 2 little bunny ears, wrapping them around each other. And you know what? Actually, I'm going to tie a knot. So now that I've done that and I see that that was exactly how much I want, I will just go through and tie it once. And then I'll do my bunny ears. It just didn't look quite as finished as I'd want without some ribbons you can get away with no knot, but with the baker's twine, it looks better with it. And then you just fiddle with this until you get your bows sitting the way you want them to. And I do want mine kind of on the side because I don't want it blocking my sentiment. And there we go. I am happy with how that is. So now I'm going to cut this off. It's a nice way not to waste any of your twine. I mean, it's not like you don't get a ton of it, but still, I want to make it go as far as I can. I know, Kim, I absolutely love tags as well. So my desk is all dusty. So now that we've got that done and our little bow tied, I'm going to flip this over, put dimensionals on the back. Oops. So 1 in each corner and 1 in the center. You probably don't need that many, but I don't mind. I like making sure it's going to stay put. All right, peel those off. And then I did put mine on just slightly on an angle. And then to finish our card, we are going to get our neutrals adhesive back sequence. And I'm actually going to use some gold ones and just pop them onto my tag like that. And that is how we are finishing up our card. So just a really nice, shiny, super festive card and really quick and easy. Like if you have to make a ton of Christmas cards, this is actually a really great one because it looks really wow, but it's actually really quick to do. So that is card number 1. Put those off to the side. Now, card number 2 is a little bit more, but still not too bad. We have that same embossing folder, but I used it differently. And so actually I'm going to pull it out and show you guys here how I use this. So instead of putting my paper in so that it was fully inside my embossing folder, I actually took it this way, lined it up so that Joyful was in the top left-hand corner, and then ran it through my machine like this. So this way it just fits through the big machine. And so I ran it through like that. So it didn't emboss the whole thing. It only embossed part of the paper. That way I got the images and the words that I wanted to be seen in a spot where they'd be seen. So you can see we do have our cute little gingerbread man on this card. He's not covered up, a little bit of holly, some gifts, and the word joyful, and the beginnings of Christmas. So it got all the parts that I really wanted shown. So that's how I embossed that one, just a little bit differently. Always good to look at our things and see how we can use them to change it up a bit. So first thing to do is we're going to actually use a blending brush and some balmy blue ink. So I've got my blue brush here. I just have brushes that are for like light and dark blues, light and dark greens, and then I kind of mix and match the colors. So I don't always get a true color because sometimes this is mixed with other blues, but close enough. So that nice light playful blue. And when I come down to the mistletoe, I don't want to go too far off my words because I don't want blue peeking out the bottom of this card. I want the bottom to be nice and white. Okay, so just nice light, and you can do this as dark or as light as you want. I think this is a bit more of a true balmy blue than my original card. That's nice. It's brighter, lighter and brighter, which is what I was going for this card. All right, so with that done, I am going to grab there we go, my sentiment that says, "May your Christmas be merry and bright." Now, I am going to grab a sticky note though. I'm going to grab pink. I think it's my least favorite of the colors I currently have. And I am going to cover up all the words except for "and bright." Then I'm going to grab my cherry cobbler ink. And I am going to ink up the words "and bright." You want to make sure you really get them inked. Oh, I'm getting ink all over the place. Oh, well. So I'll show you guys a little trick. I'm not too worried about getting that red all over things, but just in case, you can take your chamois and you can use it like it's a kitchen cloth and just wipe things up. So without getting my words, I'm also going to just do that edge. All right. So with that done, I'm going to peel away that sticky note and stamp my words "and bright" down in the bottom corner of our embossed piece. There we go. So we have just "and bright" on our page and nothing else. So that's exactly how we want that. I'm going to set that piece to the side now. Going to grab my largest stylish shapes circle. So if you don't own the stylish shapes, I use these to death. Like I use them on everything. They're just fantastic shapes. They've got the lovely stitching both inside and out, and they're just the perfect size for pretty much everything. So I've got this one. I'm going to give my stamp that I just used a good old clean because it's got that cherry cobbler ink on it. I have to wash my chamois after this. So this is our Simply chamois, and I love it because the only thing on here is water. And to clean it, I can just rinse it under the tap or throw it in my washing machine. And it does such a good job of cleaning. So I'm going to grab some garden green ink now. And this time I'm going to ink the whole image. If you wanted to, you could not ink up the words "and bright," but it doesn't matter. So I'm inking mine. And I am going to stamp that. I'm just looking to make sure my four corners are all on my circle before I put it down. There we go. And my "and bright" was a little close. It doesn't matter. If you were worried about your top letters, put them down lower, and just like it doesn't matter if the "and bright" falls off the circle because we're covering it up anyways. Now, to do this part, you would think I would just start gluing layers down, but I'm actually not going to. I'm actually going to start at the top of my card and work down, which is a little bit different. So this time I don't care if I wreck my glossy finish because I'm not showing the glossy side. I loved the pattern on the cherry cobbler and white side so much that I'm just putting my ink right on my glossy side. And I'm putting this onto a little piece of cardstock. So now it doesn't quite go to the end. That's fine. I am just going to use my paper snips and trim that. There we go. All right. And then I'm just going to double check. Yeah, it was my red piece that was too long because this is the same size as my base. All right. So now this piece, I'm actually going to put some liquid glue on it, just in the center. And I am going to stick this to my circle so that it's over top of the words "and bright," and so that my circle looks centered side to side to me. And this is why I like using the liquid glue, because it allows me to wiggle it back and forth. All right, so there we go. Now that looks centered. I did get some glue on my fingers. Now the thing with liquid glue is you can just, I don't know if you guys remember this from being kids and putting glue on your hands on purpose, but you can just rub it off. All right, so I've rubbed that off. And now I'm going to actually put glue all over the rest of this. So you don't need a lot. I just kind of got a glob on there and then use this wide end of my glue stick to spread it around so that it's a super thin layer. All right, and then this piece goes onto our embossed layer. And so I'm going to try and give myself a nice equal border on top and bottom of my "and bright. And then of course this should be lined up side to side with the cardstock. So that's why we don't just glue our circle down, because it'd be really complicated to try and get it at the right height to perfectly cover the "and bright and perfectly match up the distance we need on our "and bright" at the bottom. So we kind of build that one top to bottom. And then this whole layer goes onto a cherry cobbler piece as well. Should move these scissors out of my way. There we go. And when I've got something embossed like this and I want to just rub it to make sure it all sticks, I tend to flip it upside down so I'm rubbing across a flat surface and not catching any of the edges of my paper. There we go. And then finally, we're going to glue this to our card base, which happens to be a thick basic white card base. So there we go. And I don't know if I've mentioned it in a while, so I'll mention it right now. When you're using basic white as a card base, I always try to use the thick basic white because it really does create a sturdier card. And in fact, to help with my card making and just make it really easy on myself, when I order my thick basic white cardstock, I actually bring it home and immediately cut it up, and I cut 2 different stacks. So usually I'll take 1 pack and cut a whole pack one way and a whole pack the other way, and I just create these stacks of cardstock, all pre-scored and pre-cut into the 2 kind of card base shapes that I like. So it's just either scoring at 4 1/4, cutting at 5 1/2, or scoring at 5 1/2, cutting at 4 1/4. And then I don't have to stop to make card bases. I just have a stack of them beside me. And then I also know how much basic or thick basic white cardstock I have left because I can see the stacks on the shelf beside me. So I know when to reorder and I never run out. So just a little tip there. Makes card making easy peasy. All right, and then our final embellishments on this are just some white sequins from our neutrals pack here. So I'm just popping those on, just kind of throwing them all over. And just like that, like that. And there we go. So I do try to work with that idea of triangles and rules of 3. So I've got one triangle there and one triangle there, just to balance everything out on my card front. And that is our second card. I do love how using a blending brush over top of that embossing folder really makes the images pop. All right, so card 2. And then card 3 is just sweet. Just super, super sweet. It is sending good tidings in this season of cheer. Oh, the glare on there is a little bit funny. So it is really shiny paper. And it doesn't look as awesome on this screen. That's too bad. It's a beautiful, rich, mossy green with those cute little candy canes. And in person, it is so cute. So this one, we're just going to grab our bits. Now you do have one kind of unusual bit in here. You will get this pre-cut for you. And it's this sweet little stitched heart. And this actually comes out of the Give It a Whirl die set. I love that set. It has the cutest little stitched clouds and hearts. I think there's a star in there. So aside from the spinner in it that's really cool, all of the little embellishments in that kit are just so much fun to use. All right, so to start, we're just going to double check that our paper is the right width. So that one's a little shy and that one's perfect. So this is the way we're going to orient ours. It is a 4x4 square, but you know, sometimes it's not exact. So I just kind of lined it up with my background paper to see which way it fits best. And now I know where to put my, my paper stripes. So I'm going to put some adhesive on both sides here. Some dry adhesive. So Tear and Tape or Seal Plus or something that's going to hold quickly and firmly. Because we are going to take these little paper strips and put them behind. So it is a 1/2 inch strip to give you lots to work with. You can let as much or as little show. I'm only letting about 1/8 of an inch show. I just want a tiny little cherry cobbler border here. And I want it to hold quickly. I don't want it to slip and slide on me, which is why I'm not using liquid glue. All right, now that one needs just a little trim. It's just a little bit longer than my paper, so I'm just going to come in with my snips and trim that up. Okay, so we've got that all ready to go. So now this piece we can glue onto our embossed background. Now this is embossed with the Snowflake Sky embossing folder. And this is going to go on just like that. And I am going to use liquid glue to, oh, sorry, I'm way off the screen. I'm going to use liquid glue to do that because I have the cardstock areas to kind of make sure I don't get any glue onto the glossy side. Okay, a little bit there. And again, that cardstock. All right. And so this one I am trying to kind of center it top and bottom. And then, of course, the sides go right to the side. All right. There we have it. Okay, so with that done, we are going to tie some twine around this before we attach it to our card front. This time I am grabbing, I think it's gray granite. I don't know. It's got like it's kind of a grayish brown tinge to it. And that's the one we're going to use. So I am actually going to hold it here with a little piece out so that I have space to tie a bow. I'm going to hold it here and I'm going to wrap it around twice. And then this time I am going to snip it off. There we go. And I am going to take that end that I snipped and tuck it under both pieces of string before I tie my knot. Oh, come on. Not always easy to tie a knot. There we go. There. So we've got that done. It's wrapped around twice and sitting really cutely there. And then we're going to make our bow. So our 2 bunny ears, wrap it around, and voila. We've got our bow, and now we just have to play with it. Always got to play with the bows to make them sit the way we want, especially the baker's twine. It likes to twist and turn on itself. You just have to keep pulling it back and forth and pushing it into the position you want it in. All right, and then I am going to leave these ends nice and long and let them fly around and everything. So that is all done. We can set that, well, actually we can even glue that down now. We don't need to wait anymore. So we can glue that straight to our card base, and it is white on white. So you're just centering the whole piece on the card front. You can use liquid glue for this, or something stronger if you want, some CL Plus or something. And I just glue right over top of those pieces of twine and everything. They're thin enough that they will just not be in the way. All right, there we go. Awesome. So that is almost done. We just need to add our sentiment to this card now. So you do have a piece of cardstock here. It is just wide enough, like just. So let's see, I need to clean up a sentiment because it fits best on this E block. And that's the one that I was using for our May Your Christmas Be Merry and Bright. So I'm just going to clean that up and swap it out. There we go. Put that on there. Oops. And we're going to use our Cherry Cobbler ink again for this. So I'm going to take the whole ink pad and ink that up. Now, you want to make sure that you've got a nice even inking on here. And if your ink pad's not super juicy, you might want to re-ink it because these are bold sentiments. You don't want kind of faded out ink on these. All right, now I'm putting this kind of higher up on my paper because I'm going to be flagging the bottom. There we go. Oh no, I did a little boo-boo there. Okay, I'm actually going to fix that right now by trimming my paper. So somehow I managed to get a little bit of red ink there. I'm actually just going to go over to my trimmer and slice that off. The width of this paper actually only matters in the sense that it needs to be wide enough for the sentiment. So there we go. I just trimmed that off and my card is good as new again. So now we're going to flag the bottom of this. There's a bunch of ways that you can do this. You can, if you've got something like a tool already for flagging, great. If you have the retired tailored tag punch, it is my favorite way to do it, and that's the way I will be doing it. But I will also show you that you can line this up on your cardstock. So I'm looking, that's 4 and 4 with a little bit. So I've lined that up so I can find my center spot. And then I'm going to go up and put a dot. And then you cut from the corners into the dot to create. Now, I like having that dot there even when I'm using my tailored tag punch because it gives me a good sense of where to position my punch. And voila, we've got our tag done. The pencil way works so well, and it helps you whether you're using a punch or you're using scissors. It makes it so that you actually get an even, although I didn't do a very good job of even there. Wow. Helps you typically get a better even cut. I'm okay with my little lopsided one. This is going to go on with dimensionals. So I'm going to put one in each corner and one in the middle. There we go. And like that. Whoa, go away. Little dimensional backings everywhere. All right, so now this part, you want to try and line it up before you get too close to your paper so that those don't stick. And I've just, tucked it under too far. I'm just tucking it underneath a tiny bit under that ribbon, or not ribbon, but twine. But I don't want to really cover up my words too much. Now it's twine, so even when that ribbon's kind of across things, it's not really blocking our view of reading. So sending good tidings in the season of cheer. And then our heart is going to get a dimensional as well. I'm just going to make sure to keep it off to one side. And then when I put it down, I will put that one little piece just slightly overlapping, just like that. And our final touch is to add, I used the darkest, like the bronze, I guess is what it would be. I used the bronze embellishments this time. And so I just put a couple down here. Now I've got two loose ones on another sheet. I'm going to grab them to finish this off. There we go. And oops. And, oh, that's funny. It's not going to fit as well now that I trimmed this up. So maybe I'll actually put it on my heart. There we go. That works. And that is our third card finished. Oh, we popped back into this view. That's weird. Sorry, guys. There's a better view of what's going on. So that is our third card. Right like that. So I'm going to bring in all the cards now. And there we go. That is our card class to go. So you'll get the stuff to make 2 of each of these. And that's my Joy to You card class to go this week. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Now I'll pop back. I hope you guys enjoyed that class. With a $60 purchase, you get the PDF with all the measurements and everything. You get the link back to the YouTube version of this video, and you get all the materials to make 2 of each of these. And with a $70 purchase, you get all of that plus a package of the Neutrals adhesive back sequins. So it's a great way to bulk up your Christmas card stash. We're just about to the season where we've got to start mailing those. So a great way to help you along with that. And this is the Joy to You stamp set with the Shining Christmas 12x12 specialty DSP, which is actually only available online. So if you haven't gone to the shop and checked out our online exclusive, you probably want to do that. There's some fantastic stuff in there. And have a great week. And one last thing, actually, if you're looking at it and your order is going to be over $90, your best bet is actually to grab a starter kit. We have the most incredible deal going on this month, which is, it's our 35th anniversary. And so they're offering either 35% off of your starter kit. So for $90, you would get, well, actually it's a bit less than $90. You would get $165 of worth of product and no shipping on that. And then depending on where you are, no taxes either. In BCA, we have to pay one of the taxes, but it's still a lot less than both. And then the other option is to get 35% more product for the regular starter kit price of $135. I think you get $202 worth of product. It's kind of a ridiculous deal. And then you would get the PDF for this card class for free from me for joining my team, because every week I post my PDFs to my team. They don't get the make and take packs, but they get the PDFs with the written instructions and everything for free in my group. So yeah, if you're looking at placing an order, it's almost worth a little bit of a bigger order and joining my team. And yeah, it is an amazing deal, Kim. So yeah, think about that. And if you have any questions about that, you're not sure which way to go, what to do, let me know. And of course, you can add the things you would need to make these cards to your starter kit as well. So you'd have everything you needed anyways at home. Yeah. Have a great day, everyone. And please reach out if you have any questions about the card class, about the starter kit deal, or about anything else. I'm happy to help. Bye.